Hi everyone, this is Ruby Bhatia, television presenter and happiness life coach. Welcome to IIW's Reflections with Ruby Bhatia. Today we have with us a gentleman who is doing a lot of work that is going to help all you women out there. His name is Mayur Kalbag. He is a best-selling author, a leadership trainer, and he's also a painter, and I must say, a wonderful human being. Mayur, welcome. You're the first gentleman we've ever had on Reflections with Ruby Bhatia. So आपका बहुत खास स्वागत है.
Yes, I'm very, very happy to be part of this wonderful podcast, and especially to be with somebody I used to look up to and listen to absolutely when I was in college. And, this is IIW inspiring Indian women. For me,
Yes.
I'm surrounded by 5 women in my home: my wife, my daughter, my mother,
Okay.
and my wife's grandmother. A lot of women, and they inspire me a lot.
They inspire you, or you're inspiring them, or both ways?
I think they inspire me to inspire them again.
Okay, it's give and take. So, listen, you have so much in your journey. I mean, you've been a best-selling author. You're a leadership trainer. You're a painter. Tell us about your journey. Tell us about everything you've been doing over the past few years.
Thank you very much for asking this question, because they say that we are born and then we pass on. But I think I was born. I had the blessing of being born twice.
Okay.
One was when I was born, of course, and the second was when I went with my guru, my spiritual guru, to Kailash Mansarovar, the Himalayas.
Okay.
It was in 2001. I called it my birth, Ruby, because that was when a lot of things inside me began to awaken. And I think at the core, it was creativity, wanting to do something creative. And that egged me on to start writing. I was not a good student in English, to be honest. I used to almost pass. It's ironic that the same school where I studied has now, it has my book in the library. The same school where I used to almost pass. So, in the Himalayas, when I was walking and not wandering, but I was doing the parikrama of the Kailash Parvat and the Mansarovar.
Wow.
I think I don't say I think, it definitely awakened a lot of juices of creative thinking within me. It awakened me to the world of spirituality, to understand being a good human is most important. And I think it's been what, more than 25 years that I've been there, 2001. And I'm kind of still actively thinking about all that. And thanks for asking me that question. Today I'm whatever I am in my second birth because of that.
Okay, that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the books you've been writing and what they've been about.
Yes. So I'll just begin at the root of what made me write about these particular entities. The title of these books are Aghori, an Untold Story, and Aghori, the Untold Story Continues. When I was almost 9 or 10 years old, I got this, I can't say an opportunity, I was an encounter with an Aghori sadhu in a temple in Mumbai. I didn't know at that point of time. Yeah, I didn't know at that point of time he's an Aghori. I just saw this entity which looked very different sitting outside the temple, Hanuman temple. And from there it began the journey of wanting to know more about them. And that precipitated into me writing the 2 books, Aghori 1 and 2. It was their mystery. It was their whole philosophy of wanting to not just practice techniques, but to reach what they call as the Shiva Tattva, is to reach the essence of Mahadev, and the whole realm that they venture into inspired me tremendously. To see an Aghori sadhu performing certain rituals seated on the body of a dead person and practicing some things which are still secretive. It really inspired me to know more about them. I got to live with them for some time. I got to meet them, talk to them, But all this was without the mobile phone. They insisted that I should not carry any stuff which is to record. So I had to make my own notes, and that really made me all the more inquisitive about them. And that's how I started writing, because I felt many people are not aware of who they are, and they've been quite grossly misrepresented. Aghori, they're very scary. They eat this, they drink that, but there is so much of spirituality embedded in them, which people do not know. And that's the reason I sort of, that the Aghoris made me write the book about them, is how I say it.
A question out of curiosity, okay? Were you ever tempted to join them and run away with them?
I was tempted to run away with them, but
yes,
but the temptation was squashed, because I realized that it is not my cup of tea at all. Ruby, the way they practice their technique, even to listen to it will give you and me goosebumps.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine even walking up to a cremation ground, just imagine, and that too in the night, and then doing your sadhana or your meditation, your practices there. I mean, forget about joining them. I only felt it's better to adore them, learn from them from a distance. But I did feel at a point of time the temptation to run away with them, which is probably why I wrote the book, because through the book I can be with them.
My goodness, that's incredible. So how did that happen, and then how did you become a leadership trainer? Tell us about the leadership training that you do.
I've always felt, Ruby, that people development and personality development, like the way you communicate, Ruby. I've always been impressed by communicators, because that's the bridge between thought and action, or
Right.
connecting with people. It's your communication.
Right.
And I felt that just like communication, the attitude part, the creativity part, leadership, managing people, I felt at the core one needs to have, as you introduced me, and I absorbed that, a good human being. In that, the element of spirituality plays an important role. To me, spirituality is about being a good and a better human being, and keep trying at it. For example, Ruby, I got an opportunity to do an anger management program for a group of people. The reason was that a lot of very highly qualified people did not know how to really control their emotions. That is where I understood first time the link between spiritual progress and spiritual evolution, and how it connects to your professional enhancement and your personal growth as well. So practicing meditation, even awakening vibrations, chanting certain Sanskrit prayers, for example, they have an impact, a very positive impact on the mind, body, and the soul. And that is where I understood that every employee on earth needs the exposure to meditation, to yoga. And it goes beyond religion. It's not about rituals, it's about spirituals, if you know what I'm saying. So that's the connect I felt, is good human being aspect gets awakened, gets strengthened because of spiritual progress and activities. And that has its link to the way we perform our duties as professionals.
Oh, that was so well said. I can't even, it's like a quote. It's like one of those quotes you want to wake up to in the morning on Insta, So I like that one, spirituals versus rituals. This is very important, I think, in this day and age where, religion has been controversial, to say the least.
Can I just
for a lot of people.
Ruby?
Go ahead.
Just to add value to your point, I was recently in Bedford, in UK, and I was very blessed to be invited to one of the temples there. And they did all the rituals, which was beautiful. It's a Mahadev temple. After which I was given an opportunity to speak about my book. But apart from that, I was able to bring what you said, or you echoed what I said, about rituals and spirituals. And they really love the aspect of the connect between being spiritual and being ritual. Because if you just become ritualistic without knowing the spiritualistic part, it becomes dry. So I was so happy that they were able to understand, absorb, and it's interesting that I go back to UK in June to kind of now take it further deep and further broad into activities that can make us spiritual and rituals that can enhance our own ritualistic aspects. Like for example, during Ganapati, Ruby, you remember here in India we always do the aartis. I have the memory of going to the Ramakrishna mission, the mutt in Kolkata, and I remember sitting there and the vibrations, though it was a ritual of the puja that was happening, the evening aarti, but the way they said Khandana Bhava Bandhana, the entire dome there with people chanting this literally was three-dimensional, the vibrations. And that is what I feel is important. Oh, Alice.
Yeah, I mean, I felt it. Yeah, I felt it just now when you said it. I could feel the vibrations. So, how does painting fit into all of this? You're a painter as well. Do you do it for the sake of as an art, or is it also something? I mean, can we buy your art? Or is painting a passion, a profession? What is it?
I want to say, I want to give you two answers to this. Painting for me began when I was seated in front of the Manasarovar. Without exaggeration, Ruby,
Wow.
when you are seated in front of the Sarovar at that height, 15,000 or 16,000 feet above sea level, and then you see those Himalayan ranges on the horizon, when I came back, I felt like literally, and I felt like bringing it out, but how would I do that? So writing is one way, yes, but I also felt like putting it out with color, with shades, and that kind of got me to do something like this. So what I'm trying to say is, for me, painting was a way of channeling my memories of being at Kailash Manasar. But it evolved into something where today I can pleasantly gloat about the fact that I did shows in Switzerland at the Nehru Center in Worli. I've done shows in Fiji Islands, and I'm not saying it to highlight the shows I've done. It's just my way of celebrating the paintings I do. So
Wow.
even for people who pick up my books, I do the painting of the Aghori Sadhu inside the book.
Oh my gosh, amazing, amazing. So it's
It's
like,
a release for me, Ruby. It's a release for me. It just helps me to connect once again, or every time I paint, I feel connected to the Himalayan mountains. I love painting.
wow, that's incredible. Okay, so what's happening now? What are your current projects, and what do you have planned for the future?
So, Ruby, I have been doing something called Anahata spiritual retreats, where we focus on techniques of spirituality like Om vibrations, chanting of stotrams, meditation, which is not passive but active meditation, visualization, bhajans, bhakti yoga, and we do this at Rishikesh. So I'm taking a group to Rishikesh in April, and then I'm going to Kailash Mansarovar. That's a plan next year. So Anahata is one. I've just completed writing Aghori Part 3. I've started writing on the Naga entities. So writing is going on its track. I've been learning this as well. And I brought this because I believe in vibrations that not only emanate out of my vocal cords, but also out of my breath. So here is something for you, Ruby, and for the audience. What I'm practicing right now. Okay. I wanted to give you the jhalak of what I've been doing. I just feel, Ruby, that it's important, to keep getting inspired by doing things that are creative. So the next thing on the horizon is for me to create a small little orchestra with me chanting Sanskrit stotrams, and joined in by somebody who sings, by somebody who plays the flute, not like me though, somebody who's a professional, and trying to get everything together and putting it up as collective vibrations. So that's what I've been working on.
Wow, it was incredible to have you here, Mayur Kalbag, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mayur, for everything that you're so much of love and so much of warmth. It's very inspiring, I can say, certainly for me, and inspiring for all our Indian women out there. So thank you, Mayur, for being with us on the show.
Thank you very much, Ruby. It was a pleasure to meet, like a fanboy moment for me, because I've seen you on Channel V, and you've been one of the best VJs for me. That's why I remember you so much. So
thank you, Mayur. So if you want to get in touch with Mayur Kalbag, you can find his contact details in the caption. And if you would like to be a part of this podcast, you can contact us at Inspiring Indian Women. This is Reflections with Ruby Bhatia, a normally women-only podcast. But if you're inspiring Indian women, then we'll feature you as well. Thank you, Mayur, for being with us. And thank you to all of you for watching.
Thank you very much.